All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's 1 o'clock, so I'm going to get started on time. Thanks for being here. Hopefully, you're all here for the session that's titled Denver's Best Kept Secret. Is that right? You're in the right spot? Okay, good. And you know, by being here, then you're sworn to secrecy, right? So just kidding. We're actually here for the exact opposite. We want you to help spread the word. So my name is Michael Beavis. I'm the Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship for the City of Denver. So super fun job, fun title. I work specifically in the Office of Economic Development and Opportunity. I say in my role, it's my job to create an ecosystem that allows entrepreneurs to thrive here in Denver. So connections to programming, resources, access to capital, whatever it is that they need, I get them kind of pointed in the right direction and connected to those resources. If those resources don't exist, then I say it's my job to create them. And so I'll share a little bit about some of those with you. I have some of my colleagues up here as well as some of our partners. So we're going to do a quick kind of round of introductions, and then we'll each kind of share a little bit with you about some of the resources that we offer and kind of help you understand how to help navigate through the system here. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Ellie.
Good afternoon. I was going to say good morning, so wrong time zone. Good afternoon. My name is Ellie Bacon, and I'm the Assistant Director of Certification and Capacity Building for the Division of Small Business and Opportunity with the City and County of Denver. And our goal is to help remove discrimination from contracting with the city. So if you guys have a contract or are looking at contracts, you most likely will be dealing with my division.
Good afternoon. I'm Malua Berenger, and I'm the Executive Director for the Industry Partnerships Team at Metropolitan State University of Denver, which I'll call MSU Denver. Hopefully you know of MSU Denver, and if you don't, because we like to say we're hiding in plain sight right here in Denver, you're going to come away really excited about what we have to offer for all of you and your networks. So looking forward to today.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Coltrane, and I am the Senior Business Advisor for the United for Business team with Mile High United Way. So that is a mouthful. Not sure how many of you are familiar with Mile High United Way. It is an organization that's 148 years old. We have locations all over the world, and one exciting thing is that the Denver location is the very first location ever. So that's something I like to share. Another thing is people don't realize that Mile High United Way does offer business services for startups and young businesses who haven't been around for a while. So I am looking forward to sharing with you guys today a little bit of what we offer.
That's great. Thanks. So I titled this session Denver's Best Kept Secret because every day I talk to businesses and resources, and the response I get back is, wow, I didn't even know your office existed, and I didn't even know the city offers those types of resources. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about some of those resources. So first and foremost, hopefully with Denver Startup Week, if you weren't already familiar with it, most of you have become familiar with it. The Commons on Champa, how many people have been there, seen it, heard about it, been there? Great, right? So it's what I refer to as free co-working space. Right, so it's now back open to the public post-pandemic. You can literally come in any time of the day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, free desk, free Wi-Fi, free coffee, free entrepreneurs to chat with, network with, etc. We also offer a ton of programming and events out of that space. So typically speaking, we use an online app called Startup Space. You can go on there and look on the calendar. We offer things that we call power hours, right? And power hours basically are the opportunity for you to connect with a professional in a particular field. So maybe it's marketing, it's legal, it's human resources, it's accounting, whatever it is that you feel like you need support within your business. There'll be somebody there offering typically a 1 hour long session, typically during lunch, but sometimes they vary throughout the day. And they're small groups, so you get to ask a lot of candid questions that are specific and directly related to your business. So you get answers and feedback that are directly related to the pain points that you're facing. We also have a large event space in that room that can hold upwards of 200 people. So we do a lot of workshops like this. We do a lot of product launch events in there. And the general concept with the Commons on Champa, there's 3 conference rooms in there as well that you can use, is that if you're doing something that's entrepreneurship related, it's free to entrepreneurs and they can gain access to it. You can utilize all those rooms that I talked about free of charge. Okay? So we want you to have a space to kind of grow and develop in that space. Typically what we see is solopreneurs that show up, they're working on something, they bump into somebody at the coffee machine, they start talking, they realize maybe they're working on something that's similar, or they have skill sets that are opposite of each other and they can really lift each other up. They form a team. That team grows into 2, 3, 5 people. We have hot desks upstairs, so you can actually have a permanent desk. If you'd like to be there, you can leave your computer, have files there, etc. And it's secured, and you know that you're always going to have the same home every day when you come in. And we also have private offices there. So you can kind of migrate then into private offices, and we typically see people do that when they reach about 3 to 5 team members. And then they kind of grow up and they get bigger than that, and they move on to your favorite co-working space that has better beer on tap than we do, and we don't have beer on tap. So that would be any co-working space in town. But we can help you navigate that system, which co-working space is the best for me, etc. My team and I also offer what we call advisory hours in the space. So any stage of business that you're at, I just have this idea, I don't know how to write a business plan, I need marketing help, I need legal help, whatever you need, we can provide some advisory hours to help guide you through that process and connect you to a variety of resources. I brought some of those resources with me today, so you're going to hear just a little bit about how we kind of navigate you over into their world. We have something that we call the Small Business Lending Program. So we actually offer financing through the city, right? And most people, this is, again, something that people aren't aware of, but we have a revolving loan fund. It's what we call gap financing. So it's really intended for businesses that are early stage, right? You might even be pre-revenue, or in the, say, the first 3 years of operation. You're growing, you're scaling, all those things are good. You have a really good plan in place, but you're not yet bankable, I say, right? So you don't have those 3 years worth of tax returns and positive profits and all those kinds of things, but you have some money, right? You put money in of your own, maybe you have investors, maybe you got a small loan from a local bank or what we call a CDFI, a Community Development Finance Institution, but it's not the full amount that you need to round out your capital stack. We can fill in that gap, okay? And so what's nice about our funding is that it's very low cost debt financing, but we have a public mandate that says we won't replace publicly available funds. So what that means is you have to prove to us that you went to other sources to say we tried and they came back and said no, right? Or typically what happens is they say yes, but it's not the full amount, and they will point you back to us, and we work together with that bank or that community development finance institution to help you get access to the capital that you need. We also do really creative things sometimes to help early stage entrepreneurs where we can set a moratorium on the repayment. So that means you might not have to start making your first loan payment for maybe 6 months to a year until you have time to get into your new space or get the machine operating or whatever it is that you're doing and produce the revenues that you need in order to service the debt. So there's some flexibility there. The one stipulation with that loan is that it's all about job creation, right? We work in the Office of Economic Development, so we want to help the city grow and scale. And so for every $35,000 that you borrow in that fund, you have to create one full-time equivalent job. That can be split between multiple part-time jobs or one full-time job. So for every $35,000, that's typically the benchmark. You have typically up to 24 months in order to create those jobs, so that it's not something that you have to open the doors with that many employees. So you have some time to do that. I run a program at the city called Scale Up. So Scale Up is what we refer to as a post-accelerator program. So this is for later stage companies. I only work with founders and CEOs. It's 6 months in length. It's completely free of charge. So we're not investing money in you, we're not taking equity from you, and we're not charging you a fee to participate in the program. The intention of the program is to say, what I say is to solve your 3 biggest pain points so you can achieve that level of scale. Usually the founders that I work with have been through an accelerator. It's not a hard and fast rule, but they typically have been through an accelerator. They're typically generating revenue about $3 million a year or less, and they're just kind of stuck, right? And they typically have already raised some outside capital to the tune of about $500,000 to $3 million, and we help them kind of along the way. That program's been in existence. We actually just this last week finished our 6th cohort. The previous 5 years worth of cohorts, companies have gone on to raise an additional $269 million in outside investment capital and create 500 new jobs in Denver. So we think the program's working. We're seeing those companies, what we call, ride through the valley of death and make it out the other side so that they can be successful and continue to grow and scale. We do something that's really kind of fun and interesting, and we have a guest with us here today, Kevin from Canada. Our office provides what we call the global landing pad. And so we work with companies all over the world that say, hey, we've had a lot of success here in our home country. We're ready to expand into a bigger market like the United States. We hear Denver's a hot spot. We want to come and learn more about Denver. So we have a structured program. It's kind of like a boot camp. I call it like a boot camp, but typically about 10 days or so. And we run the companies through everything you need to know about Denver. And then oftentimes what we see is we see companies choose Denver as a new home for them. And then once they come to Denver, we have a whole global team. I say I'm the warm handoff guy, right? So they hand them off to me, and then I actually get them plugged into the ecosystem. We do something similar, but in reverse. So I take CEOs from companies that have had a lot of success in Denver and the United States in general, and they're ready to expand overseas. And I take them to London every year for London Tech Week. And we do the same thing. We get them plugged into key government officials there, key resources that they need, human resources, legal, whatever it is, access to capital. We can help with all of that. If you need funding, as an example, so our kind of common theme with our department and the comments on Champa is if you're starting up, you start with us, right? Because we can help you navigate the system. There's a ton of resources that are provided here throughout Colorado to support entrepreneurs. And for me, I say my job is like herding cats, right? Because I have to try to corral all those resources to make it easy for the entrepreneurs to navigate. When I mentioned to you that there's a couple, when the resources don't exist, then I work towards creating those resources, right? So one of the resources that I'm working towards creating right now is another kind of co-working concept, Entrepreneurship Hub, that's in a totally different part of the city to allow access for residents that live in that part of the city and typically don't come to downtown or don't typically seek those resources there. That space will work very similar to what the Commons on Champa is, but on a much larger scale. So currently looking at a space that's close to 20,000 square feet of space. The other project that I'm working on is to create more access to capital for those who have traditionally not had access to capital. So I'm leading our efforts, it's a big team effort, but I'm leading our efforts towards establishing what the mayor's referred to as the Herman Malone Fund, which is intended to grow to be a $50 million fund to support businesses through equity, debt financing, and what we call professional services. So there will be what you might consider grant opportunities through that, but unlike a traditional grant where we might write you a check to say, hey, you needed money for this, what is it that you're going to use the money for? Well, it's the big 4 ticket items, right? Marketing, accounting, HR, and legal, right? Those are big ticket items, and if you're trying to fund some of that early stage, it can be really burdensome. So the way that the program will work is if you qualify and you go through some of the programming and the technical assistance training, we'll pay for that marketing service, say for you as an example, to help promote your business and promote your sales. And when and if it's successful at the end, you're not required to pay that portion of the funding back, right? So it's typically something that will go along in accompaniment with other funding that you get. Maybe you're seeking $250,000, $500,000, and say $30,000 of that is going towards marketing. That $30,000 piece may be forgiven as part of the program when that comes out. So those are a couple of things. I'm going to stop talking right now and give it to you.
Thank you, Michael. And you could talk all day about this stuff, I know. Yeah, you guys have a lot to offer. So how many of you in the room might be certified as a minority or woman-owned business, a small business? Perfect. So the City and County of Denver has a program that's based off their ordinance, and we certify small women and minority-owned firms in order to do some contracting with the City and County of Denver. So per the ordinance, we have goals and utilization plans put in place. So the first thing that we would do is that we would certify the businesses for all the certifications that they're eligible for. The city has 6 certification programs, and my division oversees 5 of those. So any contract that is federally funded through the USDOT, we will put utilization goals and plans on those projects for what's called a disadvantaged business, or DBE. Any contract that's $50,000 or above that's on city land or city funded will put utilization plans or goals in place for the local programs, which is going to be your emerging business, small business, and women and minority-owned business. So we verify that firms meet those eligibility requirements. Then we have lots of opportunities that we provide to those firms. So we have an event called DEEK. So if you want to know what's coming up in the city and you want to talk to the prime contractors or the buyers, this is a great time to connect with them. They will tell you what's coming up, what they're looking for, and if there is a goal in place for a woman, minority, or small business. Then we also have Bridging the Gap, which also gives you an opportunity to meet with the buyers on a quarterly basis for upcoming projects. The more firms that are certified, the more aggressive the goals we can put in place. So for a small business, we would need 6 firms to be certified in those NAICS codes or industry codes in order for us to put a goal in place. So if you're not certified, we do recommend, if you're looking to do business with the city, that you get certified. We also have a mentor-protege program, which is different than some of the other ones out there, because we pair each mentor-protege partner with a city agency. So you could be doing work with the airport, you could be doing work with arts and venues, general services, or the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. So there's lots of opportunities that we have there for our certified firms in order to engage and have access to more opportunities on city contracts. We also have the airport concessionaires. So if you're looking to do business with the airport, we do recommend that you look at the concessionaire's certification. It is federally funded. We also have, I'm trying to remember all our programs. So DSW does not put on a lot of programs individually. We partner with a lot of people. So the Hispanic Contractors has their Contractors Academy. So if you are in construction, architecture, design, they have programs that are specifically focused to help you scale your business. So we partner with them to provide scholarships and additional educational opportunities. Same with CDOT. They have a leading edge for transportation. So if you don't have a business plan or you hate your business plan and you're looking to do business in transportation, it's a 9-week course that you will graduate with a business plan. And those are refundable, so you have to pay up front, but if you complete the course with the partnerships and additional funding, you will receive that money back. So the goal is that you have skin in the game so that you come to all the classes, because we want you to take advantage. And it's the same with, we have a scaling program, which is similar to Michael's, that's very focused on construction and design. So we also use the USDOT bonding programs. So we partner with them to do all your bonding classes. So if you have questions on bonding, we have access to that. And these are free courses for all the small businesses. We also support growing women in transportation. So we're part of Transportation Girl, which is a great opportunity to have young girls, high school and above, shadow women in transportation and see if there's anything that they might be interested in doing. So we do offer some internships and so forth from that standpoint. And I can't remember the other program, but it'll come back to me, so when it does, I'll be back around.
Awesome. Well, so show of hands, who knows about MSU Denver, Metropolitan State University of Denver? All right, good crowd. All right, show of hands, who has tapped often to MSU Denver for support on your business? Not too many hands. Well, I hope that coming away from today, that you're all reaching out. Now, MSU Denver is right here in Denver's backyard on the Aurora campus, and we have resources, and resources for all of you. Now, think about it. Our school has 18,000 students on campus, over 1,000 professors and faculty members, and tools, labs, technology available for your access. So who can benefit from someone helping in their resources, jobs, any of that for people? Yep, all of you. Everybody should have their hands up. You need someone to kind of help you out. Now, we have 18,000 students. 80% of our students work while going to MSU Denver. So they are actively looking for amazing opportunities to help out startups, small businesses, and support you in your organization. Now, you might be thinking, I don't know if I could afford someone to come on board with you. Anyone's thinking that? Yeah, okay, good. Well, listen, there's an opportunity for you as a for-profit business to actually hire students as part of the work-study program that is federally funded. And what that allows you to do is actually pay for only 50% of their salary, and the rest, actually, the other 50%, is funded through the federal work-study program. So our students are eager. I mean, if your business is great and it's going to be the next success, they want to partner with you and support you in your endeavor. And we actually can make it very affordable for you to manage that through this federal work-study program. Now, and there are multiple ways to do it. You can have a student as a full-time job offer, and you need that person full-time. You can work on a part-time basis, on just an hourly basis, or you can do an internship, which is, I only need them for the next 3 months, and I have this specific project for them to work with. And we can support you in getting that internship set up, and talk about amazing experience for the students to learn and be working side by side with you on a project, and for you also to get the benefit of that. Now, our faculty, what an amazing, as I said, we have over 1,000 faculty, professors, anxious and eager to support the community. We're right here, as I said, in downtown Denver. Now, we have a Center for Entrepreneurship that's part of our College of Business that hosts Launch Denver. Has anyone ever heard of Launch Denver, sponsored by MSU Denver? No? Okay. Well, so happens that the cohort is starting tomorrow, but our Center for Entrepreneurship offers a 10-week free, and I said this, free, F-R-E-E, entrepreneurship workshop called Launch Denver. And what they work on with you is a business plan, your MVP, your minimal viable product, and your pitch deck. And when you come out of there in 10 weeks, you will have all 3 of those really defined and ready to go to raise your capital and your funds from and help scale and grow your business. So look it up, Launch Denver from MSU Denver. And if you, as I said, the cohort starts tomorrow. But if there's enough interest, I'm sure the Center for Entrepreneurship faculty would be willing to do something to support the interests and needs of Colorado. Okay, so then one more resource that I want to point out for you is MSU Denver has an innovative and lifelong learning kind of department, and they function a bit outside of the traditional degree, programming, and faculty 4 or 5-year degree. And what they do is they offer these micro-credentials and these small learning chunks for you to get up to speed on or to sharpen up your skills in a breadth of different ways. Well, the first way I'll talk about is called the Skills Lab. Now, the Skills Lab is if you're focusing on let's say design thinking. I want to sharpen that up so I can really think about my consumer, my product, and the needs and what that whole proposition looks like. How do I apply design thinking to sharpen that up for your business? Well, there's a free, and again, I say free, Skills Lab specifically on design thinking, and a range of different courses that you can sign up for, take at your own pace. These are professionally taught by our faculty and offered to the community as a way for us to accelerate economic growth in Denver. So look up the Skills Lab, MSU Denver, Innovative and Lifelong Learning, Skills Lab, and you will see that come up. Now, okay, so you want a little bit more context and detail? Well, we are offering what is called a launch pad. And so if you, all within this innovative and lifelong learning. So Launchpad now is about 6 to 8 weeks of learning, depending on the course, and you can focus on just one specific area, and very affordable. I think it's like $430 for an 8 weeks course, self-paced, more robust, and can really set you up for success. So you don't have to commit to 4 or 5 years to get your degree. You can actually just tailor in and hone into the place where you need that extra boost and extra knowledge, and just come in, raise a focus, get your insight, and really start to apply it right away as you complete that. And then I guess I'll pass for now because I don't want to take up all the airspace as well. I could keep going, but
If you get confused, just search launch on the internet.
well, here we have an industry partnerships team that's really focused on connecting you directly to the right resource in Denver. So Nicole is right there in the audience, and she is on point for all small businesses and the business community to connect to, and then she will navigate you to the right resource within MSU Denver. So next time, hopefully I see all hands go up where you're tapping into this amazing resource that's right here in your backyard.
Thank you. Okay, so just a reminder, Tracy Coltrane with the United for Business team with Mile High United Way, and to just delve right into some of the things that we're working on. We have so much that we're working on that I had to bring a cheat sheet, so please, don't look down on me for that, but don't want to forget a thing. And it's super exciting, too, to hear all these amazing things that everyone else has going on. So you guys have so many incredible resources to choose from in Denver, and so it's just really exciting. But UFB works to promote economic stability and mobility in neighborhoods that are historically under-resourced. So, we focus predominantly on women-owned businesses, on minority-owned businesses, BIPOC-owned businesses. And the reason that we do this is because when we put these services and these resources and we make those connections to capital and to skills, to mentors, to networks of successful businesses, we're strengthening those communities because we're helping them to create jobs. We're helping them to get jobs. A lot of people don't understand or realize that it's the small business creating most of the jobs. So when you're able to put those jobs into these communities and strengthen those businesses, you're helping them to create wealth, you're helping them to create assets, and you're just doing amazing things. So that's really what our focus is on and why at Mile High United Way, United for Business. So, and the way that we do this, variety of different ways that we go about offering these services and supports. One of the ways is by offering one-on-one consulting. to startup businesses or businesses who maybe have been in the game for a few years, but they need to revamp their digital marketing or their website, or they need to redo their business plan, or, hey, I need to differentiate my product. I need to come back and get a little bit of help. So we do a lot of that consulting and business planning with our clients. We also help a lot with skills development training, network building, connection to mentors. We also work really hard to connect our clients to capital. So that can be in the form of microloans. We actually have several organizations where we partner with to assist our clients in getting microloan funds. We also partner, for example, with DSW. We have a Arpa Bio Fund grant that we do for businesses who have been in existence since 2018. Is anyone familiar with Arpa Bio Fund? And it can't be my team members in the audience, but yes. So basically what that is, it's the American Rescue Act business impact opportunity. And the reason that this was put into place, two different reasons. Of course, with the pandemic, we had a lot of businesses that were very negatively affected by that. So there are millions of dollars in grants that we're helping folks apply for. Again, if you've been in business since 2018, you may be eligible for some of these grant funds. And they are to be used, again, if you can show that you were directly impacted by the pandemic, but also if your business has been directly impacted by construction. As you all know, we have a lot of construction going on, and that does affect our brick and mortar businesses. We also work closely with Careers United. So Careers United is another team under the Mile High United Way umbrella. And what they help us with is when we have clients that we're working with and they're ready to hire, they're ready to get more help with HR, we can connect them with a skilled workforce, with an experienced workforce, and help get them the right employees. So that's something that we're able to offer within Mile High United Way as well. Another thing I'm really excited about that we do is we pair with volunteers. So not only would I help you say with your business plan or your marketing plan, but we pair with a whole team of volunteers that are highly skills-based. And this is, like Michael mentioned, kind of the top ones are, digital marketing, finance, accounting, legal, HR. Obviously, we have a lot of help with that, and that will be a part of the accelerator program that I'm going to talk about here in a moment. But we can also help you with things like help with your website, graphic design, product photography, service photography, storytelling, helping you pitch your business, helping you learn how to sell yourself. So we do have a wide variety of skills-based volunteers that we work closely with that we're pretty proud of. Let's see, what am I missing? All right, so we have a few exciting things going on right now. One of the things we have going on is called our Web Build Initiative. This is set to begin in October. This is for folks who do not have websites yet for their businesses, and they need assistance in building a website. And this is something we do free of charge, as we help these businesses build and develop their websites. We also work with businesses who maybe they have a website, but it needs to be search engine optimized, or it needs an e-commerce section added, or it just needs to be modernized or revamped, et cetera. So again, that is going to begin on October 1st. If that's something that sounds like you're interested in, see me after. I do have a lot of great things to share with you guys. We also have an accelerator program starting on January the 7th. It's a 6-week program. It will run from January the 7th to February the 11th, once a week. And that will include your main topics that we mentioned previously. But we're also going to have a pitch contest for some pretty nice cash prizes, something to think about. And we're also going to have a mentorship program. So working really hard to connect you with those mentors that can help you move your business forward. And I believe that is it for now. I would ask that you stay in the loop. I have business cards here. I've got a newsletter sign up that we send out quarterly. We're also on Facebook, the United for Business Facebook page. So if you get on there, we regularly update that with loan opportunities, grant opportunities, workshops, and any other initiatives like the accelerator program that we have going on. So
Great, good stuff. How many people counted how many times you heard the word free up here across the panel? So I lost track, about 27 or so. Tons and tons of great resources. For those of you who don't know me, I'm also the founder and CEO of a company, so I always like to say I like to practice what I preach. I came out of the higher education space. I have more college degrees than I like to admit in public. But I wrote my PhD dissertation on the benefits of service and experiential learning. And so, and Malua kind of alluded to this a little bit, but think about tapping into the resources, the wealth of knowledge and the energy that the students at the local schools can bring to your organization. You're trying to fight through a challenge, trying to figure out some kind of pain point that you want to move the needle forward. There's professors at these universities that would love to create a team of students to do the work for you on your behalf, and creates great case studies for them within the university system itself. So that's another fantastic resource there. I personally use a ton of interns from the university, especially during the summer months, marketing interns, things like that, to help me promote and grow my business in that space. So, and we work, like I said, with all these partners up here. The relationship with Mile High United Way is deep and long. And while we talk a lot about some programs that sound similar, we are oftentimes partnering with groups like Mile High United Way to help us facilitate that. So Mile High United Way was a tremendous partner for us when COVID first hit, and our agency put together a grant process to try to help support some of the businesses that were deeply impacted by COVID and loss of revenues there. And they helped administer all those grants out to those businesses there, close to $20 million in support that went out to those businesses there. So we rely on those partners heavily. We talk a lot about the workforce programming that a lot of these groups do. We internally have a workforce development team within our agency that can help you with job placement as well. Now, oftentimes, again, we'll say, okay, whatever this need is or whatever that industry sector is, we already work with a partner that's providing that kind of training or access to talent or whatever it is. And again, if that doesn't exist somewhere in the ecosystem, oftentimes we'll build programming and supports that will do that. So you see things like in the construction industry and different things where we're looking at a whole bunch of agencies that need to hire hundreds and hundreds of people. We can work through creating those challenges. We do that a lot with tech companies that move to town and relocate to Denver. Speaking of relocating or moving your business or expanding or growing your business in the footprint of Denver, we offer some incentives sometimes for you to be in some certain pockets of Denver, what we call enterprise zones or opportunity zones, and there's potentially some cash value for you there in the form of tax credits and different things. So make sure that you reach out to our offices to think about that ahead of time, right? Before you're just now starting to think about where you might want to end up in the city, reach out to us first, and we can help you kind of navigate, like, here's where some of the benefits lie, and if that works well for your business as far as operations and the type of business that you're doing, it could be very beneficial for you in the long run for that piece. So oftentimes what you hear with these types of resources, this is why we like to direct people back to our offices at the Commons on Champa, is there's a lot of different resources in the ecosystem, and we kind of want to help people navigate their journey being an entrepreneur, right? So we hear a lot about early stage programming like accelerators or pre-accelerator type programs, right? 6 to 9, 12-week long programs. And we can help you understand which is the best choice for you based on where you're at in your business journey, right? Some are really excellent at helping you just get through the ideation phase, and we call it good. Some are really good at helping you with that design thinking process and the MVP, partnering with the local universities to build prototypes, those kinds of things is a great way to do that and keep your cost under control before you can refine a product, say a physical product, and then send it out to manufacturing because you know your minimum is going to be 5,000 units or more. It's a great way to control those costs there. All the accelerator programs in town, I'm likely a mentor on most of them. So again, I have really good relationships with most of the full-blown accelerators in town, and I can help there. Access to venture capital funding, I can help facilitate and make some connections there and walk you through some of that piece. And then again, post-accelerator programs, like I mentioned, what I'm offering through the city. I'm working on building another one that's specifically specifically focused on tech founders of color. So it will include a pre-accelerator, accelerator, and a post-accelerator model over a 3-year period. So hopefully working towards pushing that forward. So what I kind of wanted to get from all of you is talk a little bit, you mentioned, reach out and Google launch, right? The word launch, something good will come up. You mentioned about some of those points of contact. What's really the best way for the individuals in the room to really understand who should I reach out to first, right? We have four different representatives here, 2 within the same agency that are made up with 4 different departments within that agency. How do we know where to start, and how do we reach out to you first?
Do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Well, for us, it's pretty easy. About 2 years ago, and I'll give you some context, our president of MSU Denver really wanted to be more connected to the community and established a group specifically focused on building relationships directly with you. And that group is the Industry Partnerships Group, which I lead, and Nicole is on. And we have a number of navigators on our team directly responsible for connecting each person, each company, each organization to the right resources across the university. So if you think of how big and complex the university is, we want to take all of that stress away from you and put you in one point of contact. So the point of contact, if it's not Nicole, it's c2hub@msudenver.edu. I mean, it's as simple as that. C2, the letter C, the number 2, hub@msudenver.edu. That comes directly to our office and then gets disseminated to the right person on our team to connect you to exactly what you need. It's that simple.
Who's next? Go for it. Okay, so ours is pretty simple as well. We do have a website. It is the Mile High United Way website, but in order to get to our page, you just go to ufb@unitedwaydenver.org. Once you get to that page, there is an application. It's very simple, not a lot on there, but an application that you fill out just giving us an idea of what types of services that you're interested in, what kind of help or assistance that you feel like you need help with. And then we all check those emails and we decide based on your needs and where you're at, who the best fit in terms of an advisor would be for you. And then that advisor would reach out to you. So you would also just have one point of contact with us as well.
So I made it pretty easy. I brought these generic cards that have a QR code on them that I'd be more than happy to give you or let you scan. But you can also go to the Denver's website, so it's denvergov.org, and there's lots of resources on our city website, but if you're looking specifically for my division, you would look for Doing Business with Denver. Pretty simple. So it has all the resources on how to get certified, how to find our events, and it has contact information for everyone on our team. So if you are looking to do business with the city and you're looking to connect with the Prime, feel free to reach out to us and let us know, and we can let you know if they're going to be at the event, because the best way to build a relationship is obviously to build the relationship by meeting them either virtually or in person, but the goal is that we are trying to provide opportunity for you to get in front of the city agencies, the prime contractors, and other small businesses so that you can partner moving forward.
Just finished. So my answer to that question that I just asked everybody is just contact me. So literally contact me, and I can connect you to all of them if you can't remember the websites or whatever the case is, but start with me and I'm happy to direct you in the right direction for where we can do that. So Ellie, I want you to talk a little bit about the mentorship program, if you have a case study that you can share with us on how that worked recently.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we just completed so we're in our second round of the mentor protege programs. So the mentors and the proteges, they apply to the program together. We have found that it is more beneficial for a small business to bring a mentor with them than us to try and figure out the best company to match them with. After they apply for the program, and then we will match them with an agency that best fits the type of work that they're doing and the type of work that we have coming up. So in the last cohort, one of our proteges actually had the opportunity to prime on a major contract at the airport, and the mentor worked as their subcontractor. So this gives them the opportunity to see how a large project runs, but to have the support of their mentor just to make sure that they're not missing any of the steps. So it's a really big deal to have a small business prime a large major contract with the airport. So that's a great experience that they had. And we'll have another one being able to do that this year as well, but it will be with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure project. So we're providing opportunities for them to actually prime on these contracts that they would not have had the opportunity to do so in the past.
Cool. I think that program's so cool, so thanks for sharing that with me. So we have a few minutes left. Any specific questions from the audience members, things that we can help with? Yeah.
Some of these programs tend to be waitlist for,
So the question was, in some of the programs that we talked about, is there a wait list for them? Yep. Yeah, so I think it would depend on each of the programs themselves, right? Malua mentioned that there's one of your programs is starting tomorrow, right? So typically what happens with a lot of the programs that we talked here, we build cohorts, right? Typically you'll see cohorts about 12 to 20, depending on the specific program itself. And most of the programs that we talk about are cyclical, so they run multiple times per year. So if you were to miss, say that, I'm assuming this is correct, right? For the 6-week program, for the accelerator program, and you missed it this time around, although you have plenty of time to sign up for this one. If you were to miss it, they would have already the next date scheduled out there. We run a program at the Commons on Champa called Co-Starters, which is a free kind of pre-accelerator program, runs about 9 weeks in length. Basically runs 9 weeks, it's off a week, it starts back up again in 9 weeks. So you don't have to wait a ton of time. My scale-up program that I mentioned only runs one time a year. I interview about 100 different CEOs throughout the course of the year for consideration into that program. We take 15 to 18 companies total per cohort, one time a year. Yep, good, yep.
the state of Colorado has released a list of resources for refugees. With all the refugees coming into Colorado, are there plans among the group to provide opportunities for these refugees, perhaps easing certification to make it easier for them to get work permits and to find suitable jobs within the city?
Yeah. Do you have any specifics on that for refugees? It's not specific to.
is working on it, but
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the program.
Yeah, there is some stuff that's coming up within our agency, but it's not fully developed yet, and our representative from that is not here today. I do know that from a refugee standpoint, we work very closely with OEDIT, right? That's the state's Department of Office of Economic Development and International Trade. We also work closely with our other partners like Emily Griffith Technical College, which is a huge provider of resources for immigrant and refugee populations that come into our state here. So we're always looking for ways to kind of see where those gaps are and where those needs are, and then it's really impressive actually. I'm fairly new to government. I've only been in government for 4 years, and I'm really impressed with how quickly our agency says, oh, there's a gap there, let's create something to solve that problem. So there is somebody within our team that's working on something like that. Yeah, great. Anybody else? Other questions? Yeah.
Aside from a lot of the financial and support that you provide, are there any specific like diversity, equity, and inclusion programs where you help more people of color kind of create their business and help them find the community that they belong in and things like that aside from just the funding?
Yeah, I do that on a regular basis, on a daily basis. So I'm very connected to the community of color. Again, programming or resources that don't exist. I'm working in partnership. So there's a group that's running a session right behind us called Access Mode on funding. I'm on the board for that organization and helping kind of connect people to resources. Latino Leadership Institute's another example of another organization that I'm on the board for. So again, I work really hard to keep those relationships so that when an entrepreneur comes to me, I know exactly where to send them and what those resources might look like. Our Scale Up program, as an example, is a post-accelerator program. The last cohort that we had, we were working really hard to really be focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion in that program. 75% of the participants in that program were women, and 64% of them were persons of color. So we're getting better, right? And oddly enough, the companies that made up that cohort, 4 of them, of the 17 that were in the cohort, 4 of them were actually creating businesses that were focused on diversity, equity, inclusion. It just coincidentally worked out that way. Yep. Yeah.
I'll also add at MSU Denver, I think we're like the most diverse university in Colorado. Over 50% of our students are identify as a person of color, over 58 are first generation. So when you do a program with MSU Denver, like Launch Denver, or you're thinking of a project that you want to do and have our students sponsor, think about that population of who you're able to engage with and really think about whether it's feedback on your idea or project supporting your idea. You're getting a diverse talent that's engaging with you on that project and getting that perspective. So again, I would encourage you to, if you've got an idea and you've got a project you can carve out, you can get our students and the faculty would be just waiting to help you do whatever assessment you need for your project, whether it's data analytics, market assessment, coming at it from a very eyes open, down to earth perspective. That's what you'll get when you have MSU in Denver engage in your project.
I was just going to add that most of the clients that we work with through our business advising program are businesses of color or women-owned businesses. For our upcoming accelerator program, we are partnering with the Colorado Black Chamber of Commerce and Denver University to put that on. So a lot of the work that we do, we really are getting into those neighborhoods, making those connections, building those relationships, and right. So getting in there to kind of do that work and put those things in place.
And then obviously, so DSW's goals are based off of the minority and women owned, so we definitely have the programs in place. Also, the airport has put together a pilot program that we will be working with them on that deals with their diversity and inclusion. So if you're not certified, how we can include that area into contracts and other things that the airport are doing. And we're also building that into some additional training academies that we are looking to move forward. So we definitely have that in place, or we're strengthening it out.
Great.
One thing we are, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, one thing we are looking for that I feel like we're kind of struggling with a little bit is we do have a large pool of amazing volunteers, as I mentioned before, and we are now in the process of recruiting mentors as well for our accelerator program, but in hopes that it can be something that can be ongoing just for our business advising clients. So we are always looking for ways to connect with potentially diverse volunteers and mentors, because we want, our clients to feel connected to the people they're working with and feel understood. And so if you guys have any ideas for us, we're kind of in that building phase right now with those pieces. So we'd love to hear your input.
Or you can just reach out to me and I can connect you.
Yeah. Seriously, he passes the good stuff on to me. So
I filter it all out. Any last questions? Yeah. Do I sleep at night? So this is a fun fact, and this is a true story. So I'm also a college professor still. I was in administrative side for a while, but I'm still a college professor. And I tell my students and my mentees that I work with in the entrepreneurship space, you can reach out to me every day of the week up until midnight. So, and it's true. I get text messages at 11 o'clock. I will respond. So it's because I'm also upgrading papers that late at night. So, but I am available for that. So yeah. Yeah, good. All right, we'll hang around for a couple of minutes. I want to make sure we let everybody out because I know you had a truck across town. Thank you all for being here. Hopefully you learned a secret or two and you help share it.